Hey guys, the protagonist of today's video will be our blind cat. I wonder how many likes the cat will get under this video. We went to the supermarket especially for the cat, and we bought the same products of 3 different price categories, from cheap to expensive. In general, the blind cat will try a lot of delicious things today. The question is, how much the cat is a gourmet and will be able to distinguish quality expensive products from cheaper analogs. But let's start with another experiment. Let's find out what the cat's taste preferences are. What will he choose, fish or meat? We have bought 2 fresh cuts especially for the cat. The first thing we do is cut up the packages and put the meat and fish on the table. Now we can let the cat go and watch. He almost immediately runs to the meat and starts eating. But there's one thing. The meat came first. Okay, let's try it a second time. This time, the cat ran around for a long time, actively searching for the source of the smell, and still found it. Now it was fish, which Fluffy began to gnaw greedily. With meat, he behaved more modestly. Okay, for the sake of accuracy, let's try a third time. The cat spun around a bit again, but still chose the fish. Fish smells stronger, and we are dealing with a cat, not a dog. So in principle, the choice is logical. Now that the cat has set the vector, let's move on to the fish. As we said, each product is presented in 3 price categories. The cheapest fish, capelin, was bought at the market. Its price is 32 cents for 100 grams. In the future, the cost of products on the screen will be in hryvnia and rubles, and we will speak in dollars. In the middle price category is presented salmon, bought for 72 cents per 100 grams. Well, and the most expensive fish will be salmon at a price of $4.60 per 100 grams. By the way, salmon is ultra fresh. It swam in the Norwegian Sea 72 hours ago. Even visually, salmon looks more presentable. So what's the cat going to choose? We cut off a piece of each and start the experiment. The cat started his meal with the expensive salmon, and again, it did not feel any particular agony of choice. However, this result can be considered quite objective, because the cat certainly did not peek, and armed only with its sense of smell, chose fresh, expensive fish. After having tasted the salmon, the cat switched to cheaper fish. Here too, he did not taste it for a long time. Then Fluffy started sniffing petri dishes, as if he was deliberately ignoring a piece of capelin. He started to eat it several times. But after redfish, capelin was no longer an interesting product. After a hearty lunch, the experiment paused a bit. This is because the cat ate and went to bed. Now it's time to change the subject. Dennis just says that he too can easily determine what kind of fish, in what price category, by taste and smell. Let's see if it's true. He closes his eyes and I prepare 3 varieties of fish for him. We swap the petri dishes a few times and we can start the test.
Can I touch it?
Let me help you feel the petri dishes. Here's one, here's 2, and the third one.
I want to smell it. Can I do that?
Yes, of course you can. You have to do it. There's a third one.
The third one really stinks. Okay, I see what it is. I think this one is cheap, and this one is expensive. And that's Kaplan.
You've got the Kaplan right.
This one is tastier. My choice hasn't changed. This one is expensive and this one is cheap. I think that one was cheap because it was softer. This one is harder.
Unlike the cat, Dennis failed. Now let's move on to the cheese. There are 3 more price categories. The most expensive is Roquefort. In honor of this cheese, even one of the main characters of the cartoon Chip and Dale was named. Its price is almost $5 per 100 grams. In the middle price, we have cheddar cheese, 82 cents per 100 grams. Well, and the cheapest processed cheese is estimated at 40 cents per 100 grams. Let's cut a slice of each cheese. Time to let the cat out. And he went straight for the treats. The smell led him right to the Roquefort cheese, but he did not eat it, just sniffed it. Then he started sniffing the processed cheese, but he didn't eat it either. He just licked it. And then the cat started licking the Roquefort and the melted cheese. We kept waiting to see which one he'd eat first. As it turned out, the cat knows how to create intrigue. Suddenly, he switched to the cheddar and ate it. He liked cheddar so much that he ignored the previous 2 options. It is worth noting that Roquefort has a rather specific smell. Perhaps that is what scared the cat away. And we continue our experiment. And next up is caviar. 3 varieties of red caviar, as it should be, presented in different price categories. The cheapest of them cost us $1 for 100 grams. By the way, it is not natural, but artificial. But the next 2 are real. In the middle price category is caviar for about $4.50 per 100 grams. Now, the cost of the most expensive is $16 per 100 grams. Let's get to the tasting. Maybe it was just the smell, but the cat started tasting the cheapest imitation caviar. In fact, he doesn't even eat it. He sniffs it, licks it, but doesn't dare to try it. It is said that cats do not eat artificial caviar. This myth was clearly confirmed. Fortunately, there was some natural caviar of the middle price category nearby, and the cat liked it very much. He ate it for a long time, like a real gourmet. After thoroughly enjoying it, he came back for another portion. Then the cat moved on to the more expensive caviar and began to eat with great appetite. In general, the blind cat had his priorities straight. Now, let's offer the same delicacies to the raccoon. Change the order slightly and arrange the treats from the most expensive to the least expensive from left to right. Like the cat, Hype was immediately attracted to the artificial caviar. Apparently, the smell confuses everyone. But the raccoon, like the cat, did not eat such a product and switched to sniffing other types of caviar. However, it sniffed them for a long time, but in the end, it did not eat them. For the next experiment, we need 4 participants at the same time. Among them will be a blind cat, alibi Misha, a raccoon hype, and a goldfish. This time, we have 3 choices of animal food. It's dog food, cat food, and fish food. Let's put all the samples in petri dishes. First up is the cat. At first, he did a little sniffing around to find the source of the smell, but he ended up being most interested in the dog food. After a quick taste, he started eating the cat food. By the way, it has the strongest smell of all the foods. Then, when the cat turned away and definitely did not look, we switched the cat food and the fish food. But the cat was not that simple. He would eat fish, but not fish food. Misha's food was considered edible. The cat's food is also edible. But when everything was eaten and only the fish food was left on the table, the cat took it too. Yes, what an appetite! Let's repeat the experiment, but this time Alibi will choose the food. Misha quickly sniffed everything, but he liked the cat food best, and he liked it so much that he ate it all. His own dog food was probably boring, so Misha ignored it. Well, fish food is definitely not for land animals, and Misha confirmed it once again. Now let's examine the goldfish's taste preferences. The fish chose dog food.
What a twist!
Which means it did exactly the same thing as the cat. Who knew they had something in common? The fish made many attempts to swallow the pebble of food. It waited for the food to soak so it could swallow it. With 2 pieces of food left, what will the fish choose? Now it likes cat food. Maybe there is no point in buying expensive food for the fish and just feeding it cat or dog food. Although, of course, a joke, because each food is balanced for a different species and its nutritional needs. Here we have Hype the raccoon. Now it was his turn to taste the food. And the raccoon was the first to show interest in the fish food. Now that's an unexpected situation. He spent a long time sniffing the food, tasting it, and even rolling it around in his paws. It was only after 5 minutes that Hype noticed the presence of other food, and he immediately started to try it. Eventually, he got so excited that he ate almost all of the dog food. Now that's a raccoon treat. After eating almost all of the Alibi's food, the raccoon went back to eating goldfish. Now that the cat has had enough, he needs something to wash it down with. And what would be best? Milk, of course. By default, the product is presented in 3 price categories. The cheapest milk is not of animal origin, but of plant origin. Almond milk, to be exact. How much does it cost? The price of almond milk is 18 cents per 100 grams. The most expensive milk is 25 cents per 100 grams. And the cheapest is 8 cents per 100 grams. The milk is poured, you can let the cat in. He went straight for the plant milk. He sniffed it, but he didn't want to drink it. Now he's paying attention to the expensive one. However, after tasting the milk product, the cat decided to give the almond milk a chance, but he didn't like it, so he went back to the expensive one. On the other hand, when we switched the cheap and expensive milk, it was as if the cat didn't even notice the switch. But no, the deception was discovered, so he started looking for the previous option. That's a bit thought-provoking. What's there to think about? Let's just give the cat a like and leave. Bye-bye!